Okay, so apparently I just rambled and my camera was not on. So I'm going to do this again. It's going to be faster because I'm really tired and I have to get up early in the morning for catering. So, welcome back to This Our Daily Life. And my motto for you guys and for myself is we may only live once, but we're going to wake up over 20,000 times if we live to be 80. So how do we want to spend those days? I have been thinking a lot about pain, and I'm going to do a little lecture on pain in a little bit. At the Bible study that I've been going to, we've been reading The Problem of Pain by C.S. Lewis, and I have some problems with C.S. Lewis now, which is kind of weird because I used to be C.S. Lewis's like #1 fangirl. Interesting story behind that, but I will get to that later. So what I've really been thinking about, though, is that we as human beings, we were made with free will, and we cannot appreciate the positives in life until we have gone through the negatives. And it really has to do with our ability to create and to make and to be and to have that free will. If we were born and we either had the world was perfect and we could not make wrong decisions, we wouldn't know what it really was to make a right decision. We would just be automatically doing the right thing like a robot. We wouldn't have that wrestling choice. You know, when you're like, oh, I really should do the right thing, but, you know, and there's that pull. There wouldn't be that. But there would also not be because there wouldn't be a choice to be good, there wouldn't be any being good. Oh, what, Ruth? Huh? Oh, okay. I'm filming life as it happens, so I don't care who interrupts me or anything. My sister's in the kitchen. And pain has just been a very prevalent part of my life. And if you've been reading my blog, you probably saw my last post about the thing with my mom. And so there's been a lot of blood and wound debriding and fun stuff like that. And it's just hard because I go out into my work life and nobody really knows about the stuff going on at home. And then I go home and it's just kind of everything's all like in these little boxes, and it feels so different. But really recognizing pain for what it is. Pain is it's a beautiful, it's not even a problem. Pain is a beautiful thing because it allows me to really understand God. Pain is the means by which I understand God. It's kind of like pain is the means by which I get stronger. If it was easy to go to the Olympics, I don't think we'd make such a fuss about it. We look at those people and we know that they experience pain. Like pain is kind of one of those, if you're a gamer, I'm not a gamer, but it's one of those level things, you know, when you're like, oh wow, you endured that, like you went through that level. And so that when we watch the Olympics, we're going, wow, look what they endured, and they made it. And so when we have pain in our lives, I think a lot of times we don't think of ourselves as Olympic athletes. We just kind of want to get by. But I don't want to just get by. And so when my life is really painful, then I'm just like, well, I'm at a stronger level now. I'm getting stronger every time. And getting stronger. Oh my gosh, if you haven't watched Rocky, watch Rocky. Best movie ever. There's a lot of movies that I think are the best movie ever, but that is one of them. The other thing that I wanted to quickly share with you was a story about a little boy at my daycare, and this kind of coincides with the pain theme of today. I'm not saying it sounds like a bad theme, but it really isn't. This little boy is named Apollo, and he is quite the character. He's run around the classroom. He has like taken his shirt off. He has run around with a broom trying to hit people in the classroom. And I feel like he has an amount of respect for me because when he ran around one day, I took him and I hot dog held him like this, and I just said, Apollo, I'm not gonna let you go. I'm not gonna do it. And you can spit on me all you want. I'm still not gonna let you go. And so he and I feel like are pretty good friends right now. And so, but before nap time on Monday, he asked me a funny question. He said, or he said, I can't remember exactly how he started this, because he said, I want a girlfriend. And keep in mind, he's 5. And so I was thinking, you don't need a girlfriend, Apollo. And then he asked me, what do you do if a girlfriend gets mad? And I said to him, well, Apollo, if you're a good protector and if you're a good listener, that would make you a really good boyfriend. And he asked me to tell him a story. So I told them 2 stories. I told them the story, I don't know if you guys have ever heard, seen this, The Summer of the Monkeys, which I actually want to watch that again, because I read the book, I think in 6th grade, and then I watched the movie, and it was really heartwarming. It was fun, because Apollo had a stuffed monkey with him, so it triggered that in my mind. And then he, wanting to hear like a boyfriend-girlfriend story, wanted to hear the story of Tarzan, which is like the perfect romance for a 5-year-old if you think about it, because it's the boy who like doesn't really talk and is like running around in his underwear, and then it's like a pretty girl. Wow, that's how a 5-year-old's mind works. Anyway, so he heard the story of Tarzan and Jane, my version, which I watched Tarzan last night just to see if I was right, and I did get it mostly right. So hopefully when he grows up, or gets a little older and watches Tarzan again, he'll be like, oh yeah, okay, she did tell him mostly right. I don't know, but he told me something, because we were talking about being alone. And I was telling him these stories, and in The Summer of the Monkeys and in Tarzan, there's a male figure who's like really protective of a female character. And every time I mentioned and he protected so and so, he got this big grin on his face, and he was so happy. And then we started talking about being alone, and he said that, oh, my brother felt alone when my dad was at the door, and my brother was saying, no, Dad, don't go to jail. Don't go. And my heart just broke, because I was thinking, oh my goodness, I've heard stories like this, but I've never experienced it. And it was heart-wrenching, really. And so we I was thinking about that, and just how many kids are really abandoned. They don't have parents, they don't have role models, they don't have maybe older siblings who care about them, and everyone's just kind of looking for someone to tell them how to be an adult, or tell them how to be a brother or a sister or a father or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or whatever. They're looking for that. And so I would just encourage you, wherever you can find kids, go and just give them what you have. Whatever you have, give it away, because that is what it's meant. That's what you're meant for, is to learn how to grow something within yourself and then go give it to somebody else, not making them codependent on you. And you can't find your worth in what you give away. You have to have a surplus to give away. Especially as a writer, I used to be very, I would write something down, and then I would only validate what I wrote if somebody else liked it. So I would share it with my sister, or I'd share it with my mom. Be like, did you like it? Did you like it? Did you like it? And what I've realized is I like my writing. And if somebody else happens to like it, that's great. And it almost makes it more real writing if I'm just doing it for myself. And you'll find that with anything. If you have a product that you're passionate about, and then you make it for yourself and you give it and you sell it or whatever, it's going to do better, because it's genuine. You're not just trying to you're not doing it for other people. You did it for yourself, and then you're able to give to people and say, hey, look what I discovered, look what I found, look what I did. Or people might just discover you and think that whatever you have to say or do or sell is awesome. That's great. But people don't typically like it if you're just trying to push something because you're trying to make a point about how great you are. Nobody really likes that. So I wanted to really quickly. Oh gosh, I had something else I was going to say. Yep, it's gone. But I did have a poem that I wanted to read to you guys, and I cannot find the original poem that I wanted, and now I can't find the other one that I wanted. Oh, God. It was in these Pathway readers that my mom bought for us forever ago, and these were great books. And I have read so much great material my heart is made out of a thousand short stories that I read as a kid, and they were just they were so wonderful. And I don't even know if my mom really knew like what she had gotten herself into, because I mean I really did intend from a very young age to be an author, so I was soaking everything up. But what's great is that, I can now share these stories with other people, and I can write stories that have a similar flavor and texture, and kind of get that into people's modern palates, hopefully. But I had a poem. It was called Forgive Me When I Whine. I could probably look it up on the internet, but I wanted to find it in the real book because I like to have books in front of me and to read them that way, because I'm old-fashioned. I like paper. I like hard copies of everything. Hence my little library collection, and I have a bunch of DVDs in here, and I've got books up there. This is a very small bookshelf, but it's the beginnings of Ashley Ann's library, which I'm hoping will be huge someday. So this poem is called The Bravest Thing. It is by Author Unknown. When I was younger, every time I saw Author Unknown, something in me was sparked, and I thought, oh wow, that could be anybody. Author Unknown could be anyone. It could be you. So this poem is called The Bravest Thing. I'm just going to read it out loud to you guys. Many people envy heroes and think them brave and fine. They say, I wish adventure would walk this path of mine. But really, you're a hero if you can only sing and see a little bit of good in every living thing. If you can pray to God above with faith within your heart, and if in simple living you can only do your part. You truly are a hero if you can laugh and smile and make somebody happy for just a little while. If you can do a little good to help this world along, the bravest thing you can do is smile when things go wrong. And I just love that poem. I felt like it really summarized what I've been trying to do with my life. And I am now going to go to bed. It is exactly 9 o'clock on the dot. So I am going to go and get ready for bed and go catering early in the morning. My eating choices have been pretty good this week. This is not a daily, so I'm not going to go into all of that. But I wish you happy, healthy living for the next few days, and for the rest of your lives. But let's make it to the weekend, shall we? And yeah, and I'm really hopeful for things to come, and I believe that we can do it, and I will see you. I keep checking my invisible watch. I usually do wear a watch. Now I'm checking my invisible watch. I will see you next Monday or Tuesday. So have a fabulous rest of your week. Push towards those goals. Don't give up. And I will see you later. Have a great evening. Bye.